Let's talk about this topic all about walking by the Spirit. Don't forget, if you're watching this on a mobile phone, hit that full screen button and it'll be a lot easier to watch. But you can find this topic on pursuegod.org. It's one of our sermon link topics, and it's really just talking about how when Paul talks about walking by the Spirit, what that means for Christians and how that affects our everyday habits. I just want to kind of focus in on this in this first point and in this first passage, Galatians 4, 8 through 9. Paul says in Galatians 4, he's going to argue that walking by the Spirit is relationship based. It's not religion based. It's not rules based. It's not about keeping a set of rules and sort of following through with your check boxes. And a lot of religions view it like that. Walking by the Spirit is relationship based. Look at how he explains it in Galatians 4, 8 through 9. He says, formerly when you did not know God, and if you're going to circle something, I'd circle the word know, you were enslaved to those that by nature are not God's. But look what he says, but now that you have come to know God, now that you do know God, or rather he says to be known by God, he says, how can you turn back again to the weak and worthless elementary principles of the world whose slaves you want to be once more? Now, the point is this. Here's why I've circled and underlined those words. He's saying it's the turning point in our habits, the turning point in our relationship with God is not, some religion-based thing. It's not, being a part of some organization or institution or world religion. The turning point is when we personally entered into a relationship with God. When you personally enter in a relationship with God, you know God. So Paul says when you didn't know God, you did all these other things, but now that you know God, he doesn't say, but now that you've signed up for this new thing. He says, no, now that you know God, and he makes it even stronger. He says, no, now that you are known by God. In other words, it's not just that you know God, it's that God knows you. And when you're doing things based on relationship, not just based on rigid rules and principles, the rules are still good. The principles are still good. It underlies it all. But the point that Paul's making is you're doing all of this because you have a relationship with God, not because you're part of a religion. And this is really where our habits are based. It's based on a relationship because Christianity is first and foremost a relationship with a living God. Christianity isn't just some kind of a religion.